Well, here we are again today, folks. This is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. I've been answering a few questions, got written down on some paper here in a book, and the questions that people ask, questions my Sunday school ask me. A lot of times I have my boys ask me. I've got 9 boys just about every Sunday, and they're 13 years old, 11, 12, 13. They ask these questions. And why does God allow this? And I have one boy in particular who is a war buff, kind of. He studies war a lot. But why wars? Why do we have wars? Well, you know, I got this set of books. I bought a set of books here a few months ago on the history of the known world since God spoke it into existence. And I'm sure proud and glad that this particular book bypasses the amoebas and all that. We came from a tadpole and from a monkey swinging in a tree to a man saying he. So I tried to put all that behind me, and I got this set of books. But there's 2 things in these books. 2 things in this whole set of books that stand out more than anything else in the book. That historically, from day 1 after the Garden of Eden, when Adam sinned, from that day on, there has been wars and rumors of wars. And there has been turmoil in this world. When Adam's son, Cain, slew Abel, and he was banished to the land over there, of Nod or whatever it was. When he was banished over there, he became a warrior, and he became a defender of that land and would fight against anybody that came in there from anywhere else, even though it had to be from his distant family. So we had family feuds and family wars. They were the first wars. And then as time went on, wars became between people who were spiritually driven, not knowing some of the things that they were doing were wrong. You know, it's possible to serve God in a different manner, a different way. Over up into the New Testament, Peter was, I believe, said to God, "We were walking around the lake, Lord, and we saw some people on the other side of the lake preaching the word, but they were doing different than we are." And Jesus said, to bring it into layman's terms, are they preaching the same gospel? He said, yeah, but they're doing it different. Well, he said, leave them alone. If they're not against us, they're for us. And if we were all alike, we'd be robots. If we all worship the same way, it would be robotically worshipped. So we don't. We worship different ways. We can worship in different, and I don't like using this term, but it's true, denominations. But there are going to be some out of every single solitary denomination. There are going to be some that go to heaven. There are going to be some who are truly born again, who are really Christian. What is the word Christian? The word Christian means Christ-like. There are some that strive to be Christ-like. After Jesus went to the cross, the disciples left him. They all left him. They all fled. Phew! They went every direction. You know why? They wanted persecution. They said, hey, they're going to hang us on one of them crosses if they catch us. So even Peter, probably one of the most astute and astounding men in the world in that day, and denied Jesus Christ. He said, I never knew the man. But the girl said, Rhoda, she said, hey, your manner of conversation, or the way you're standing, the way you're living, the way you're not cursing, you're not swearing, you're not doing like these other people, says that you are one of his. He said, and then Peter cursed and swore. And then the cock crowed. See, Peter got weak in the faith for a few minutes. I understand that. I understand it perfectly. And I understand why. This was a time of transition. Their Savior was being hung on a cross. God had a commission for these men. And that commission was to evangelize the whole world with the story and the fact that Jesus Christ was the Savior of the world. And by seeing his own failure, Peter, by seeing his own failure, was able to withstand the pangs and the things that were going to happen to him later on in life. He was going to be able to withstand somebody spitting in his face. He was going to be able to have enough power to walk up to a man when he went in the sanctuary down there and say to the man, hey, I don't have any silver and I ain't got any gold, but what I do have, fella, I'm going to give you. Take up thy bed and walk. He had the power of healing by faith. This is the man that walked on the water. People say, yeah, but he sank. Hey, but listen, he came back up. His faith was renewed even while he was in the midst of the trial. Hey, do you faint in the midst of a trial? Do you sink and not look at the Lord? When you get in a trial, do you say, I'm going to quit church. I'm going to get out. I'm not going back down there to church again. Everybody's looking at me. Everybody's talking about me. Everybody's doing this and that. I got news for you. You probably ain't important enough for everybody to be talking about you. And if they are, it don't make no difference anyway. Talk's cheap. It's between you and God. Between you and God. Between you and God. It was between Peter and the Lord. The Lord said, mind your own business, Peter. Peter's walking along talking to the Lord. And the Lord's telling him some things. And Peter said, what about John? And the Lord said, I'm talking to you, Peter. John stands on his own 2 feet. You stand on your own 2 feet. You mind your business, and I'll take care of John. John mind his business. He's going to be a different ministry than you are. He's going to go a different direction than you are. He's going to do different than you do. And yet he's my child. He's my boy. And you leave him alone. You mind your own business. You do what you're supposed to do. And I'm going to have John do what he's supposed to do. And we'll all be happy. The Lord had to put Peter in his place. And you know, I'm like Peter. I've had to be put in my place many a time. But let me tell you this. If you mind your own business, keep your nose out of somebody's business, shut your mouth. If you have to, put a piece of tape on it. And I have had to put tape on mine. I'm bad to run my mouth sometime and then have to pay the penalty for it. So put a piece of tape on your mouth if you have to. But mind your own business. Do what you're supposed to do. Serve the Lord the way you're supposed to serve the Lord. And let the other man serve the Lord the way he's supposed to serve the Lord. If he has a problem, that's between him and God. He'll have to straighten that out. If you seem to see it and you think it bothers you, keep your mouth shut and pray for him. Just keep your mouth shut and pray for him, and you'll see the Lord answer your prayer and help the poor guy out. And so be careful. Be careful how you act, what you say, and what you do. You find your place. Is it going to be wars? We're talking about war. Okay. Yes. We're going to have war with our members. We're going to have war in ourselves, and we're going to have war with other nations. We're going to have war with each other. War is always going to be part of the world. And I say I bought this set of books, and from the beginning it talks about war and religion. War and religion. War and religion. When Christianity came along, though, it was supposed to be different. Jesus said, treat your neighbor kindly. Treat them that despitefully use you kindly. Do not retaliate. Do not go out and kill them. If, by the way, if you are, though, in the armed forces, you have to do what the armed forces tell you to do. And you're not breaking God's law by doing what the armed forces tell you to do. You're following your commanding officer. And our time has come and gone. It's been good to be with you. Appreciate you watching these. If you would, continue. Give us some feedback, please. Thank you.